Oh, here we go.
I'm kind of nervous. So.
Oh, Julia's nervous.
All good.
Hi.
All good.
Oh,
All good.
echo.
Okay.
Echo.
I see us live. I think people are seeing us. People, can I get confirmation? Neverwinter!
Hello? Look at this quality.
Stream and sound? No. Okay, Gorilla Fist, that's not normal. That's
What is this quality that I'm watching right now, chat?
What's going on?
I can't see it. For questions, by the way.
So yeah, I'm seeing us live on Twitch. You might have to refresh your window on your end. But,
Alright, so here we are. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is the live stream for Monday, April 27th. This is the roadmap stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Let's see what happens here. I mean, this quality is looking rough. This is looking rough, dude. Their OBS settings are way off.
It's really great to be streaming again. It's been, what, 6-7 weeks since we last streamed, so, yeah. Hi, everybody. For those of you tuning in, for those of you who are not sure what's going on, we are doing a stream from home because we are still shelter in place here in the Bay Area in California, but we really wanted to update the community what's been going on.
Update me, Julia. Update me, baby.
What's happening to the roadmap, because things have changed. You know, people have had to kind of readjust their life and how we work, so we wanted to touch base with you all.
AKA, everything's being pushed back. Wait for it. Wait for it. Everything's going to be pushed back.
Chris, I don't know if you want to say anything?
Hi, Chris.
Yes, I'm still looking for our stream. I don't know what's wrong. Why I'm not seeing it. I see everyone but us.
Why is his mic so bad?
So I can answer questions.
My chat wants me to turn this up real quick, so 1 second. YouTube. Hold on, YouTube.
Just as a starter, I'm going to warn everybody. It is a 2-bedroom apartment where I'm at, so I have my husband and my daughter here with me. I've told them that they should respect the stream, but if you
that's his cursor, by the way. Here's my cursor.
And I hope you all enjoy my wall of IKEA shelves in the background. But yes, so I wanted to pull up the roadmap because the old roadmap that we had introduced back in February, I believe, because there have been some changes.
They should have hired me to be the community manager like 4 years ago.
On the screen.
Just saying.
There we go. Looks like it switched to that.
So this is the old one, right? This is the old one.
We were kind of supposed to be doing Rage of Belle right now.
Yeah. Like the episode 1 is already supposed to happen, right?
First questions.
So this is all being pushed back, essentially.
Both just now chat and on the forum thread, which is how has the COVID-19 pandemic and the shelter
COVID-19
changed the roadmap, starting with Rage of Belle. So what's the news for that? I know that I can tell you that we're going into preview. We're aiming to go into preview with Rage of Belle sometime this week. But I will let Chris, answer some more, like talk a little bit more about
preview server.
We're looking at releasing
probably
it
Friday,
and,
I'm guessing.
The work that's gone into it. So take it away, Chris.
Nice spoiler there, by the way, Julia. So far, the community didn't know that Rage of Belle was going to go on to preview, because the intent had been with the episodes to basically have them kind of behind closed doors and then released to everyone, so that it would be kind of an exciting experience at the same time for all players. But we changed our mind on that last week or the week before, simply because working from home presents a whole load of unique issues in regard to release quality and so on. And so we will be previewing it, and it will be available for preview soon. Also, in regard to your first question, the overall impact of working from home on the schedule currently is roughly a month delay, 3 weeks to a month. So it's actually not that bad. And, you know, as I've said right from the start, we'll only release what we're really happy with and to the highest quality that we can get at the time. So, yeah, that is basically the impact on the roadmap. One thing, you know, I hope everyone is safe out there. The team has certainly gone through a lot of change and logistical change, and you know, the team is definitely kind of like settling in and settled in. I'm super proud of them. They've done a lot in terms of getting content out for players during this time and rewards and all that kind of thing. And we've got more of that to follow. So yeah, it's exciting times, but it's interesting. The impact of working from home is actually good in some areas and not so good in other areas, and there are quite a few surprises in between.
Yeah. We also had questions in the thread, which was about the rewards for Rage of Belle. And as I mentioned, since we're looking into getting Rage of Belle into preview sometime this week. That's our goal, and is always subject to change.
Sometime this week, aka is most likely Friday, guys.
Hopefully you'll be able to see the rewards there, and we'll also have developer blogs coming out.
Developer blogs.
Really wanted to get Rage of Belle into preview. This was something that we don't usually put larger content like that. I mean, it's the first time we've done some kind of episodic content and all that stuff, so it's very new for us, but getting into previews is a very integral part of that. Having it at least 2 weeks on preview so players can check it out, ask questions, that is going to be incredibly valuable to us, and it also will
did he fix his quality?
Into what questions.
Well, at least he fixed the video quality.
As a community manager, that's really
a little bit,
because I want to be able to, when I
never mind. Every time he moves, he must have a really bad camera.
You have in question. So you'll be able to see more information on Rage of Belle hopefully soon. We'll keep you updated on that.
So in regard to the question about rewards, there's a whole host of new rewards, which I'm not going to go into details about. There's some new rings. There's
wait, what did he say? Rings?
Some new rare loot.
Oh, rare loot. I thought he said new rings.
Kind of break the progression, or talk about too much about the meta of the episode. And there is, for the first time, a really big piece of horizontal gear as well, which you power up as you basically play through the episode. And again, I don't want to go into too many details about that because
Black Ice, Relic gear,
but yeah,
Bone and Blood. Here comes the next iteration of this bullshit. Get ready for it, fam.
I also realized that people can see my mouse movement. I apologize for that.
Stop.
It's still getting used to OBS. If anyone wants to give me tips later on how to make it so that when
Julie, I'll give you some tips on OBS.
Yeah, so other questions. So we're going to tackle more of the questions that came in the forum thread, and then I'll also be checking out chat. What questions?
I'll give you some tips, Julia.
Why does Chris sound like he's in the chapel? Well, he does play a paladin, if I recall correctly. So they're.
Could it be because I am? Let me see. Is that better?
I mean, you sound fine to me, but I've gotten used to people sounding a certain way from home, so in Zoom meetings.
Zoom.
So let's see. Other Galactic Underwear asks, what changes are happening due to COVID as far as release dates of modules in ARC, etc.
So basically,
go ahead.
Yeah. 1 month. We're looking at 3 weeks to 1 month, but again, we want to make sure that
everything's going to be pushed back 2 weeks to 1 month, is what he said.
Release it basically.
Between 2 weeks to 1 month of a pushback.
Seattle. Yeah.
The home of Starbucks.
Yeah, I used to live there.
Let's see. What other questions do we have? Let's see. Yes. So a lot of the questions I wanted to preface, a lot of them were more granular. They were not specifically roadmap related. They were more systemic or scheduling, not scheduling, but like events and promos. And those are better directed towards other people. So I am going to be looking to see the comfort level of other team members or their setup at home if they would like to do future
put me on, Julia.
Streams like this.
Put me in, Coach. Put me in.
Production, Matt,
put me in, Coach.
Lead, to talk more about that kind of stuff in a future stream. But we did want to acknowledge that we did get a lot of questions. It's just some of them right now we feel that are better people equipped to answer those.
So, question to the community: how do I mute Lancer on Twitch? No, I'm kidding. Just joking.
Wow, he just said, "How do I mute Lancer on Twitch?" That's hilarious, Lancer. You bum. You bum, Lancer. You've pissed off Chris. Congratulations to Lancer.
I know that this, questions about content development, like the people were asking about like stronghold updates or other event updates, and with the roadmap being kind of shifted all a month to 6 weeks in the future, is that going to involve cutting some stuff that we've kind of set up ahead of time, or I guess?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
So no, we're not cutting anything. Outside of if we were to do that anyway because of quality reasons in a modular way. So no, we're absolutely not cutting anything. And the roadmap, in most part, the whole of it gets shifted by 3 weeks to a month. So if you look at Mod 20, for example, then we're looking at the end of February or March for that. I mean, that said, the team is getting better and better, more efficient, and we're continuing to kind of watch the velocity.
Everything's pushed back, so essentially.
No promises.
So Yama says, so the roadmap is still the same. It looks like the content is the same. It's just dates are getting shifted. Whenever you move one piece, unfortunately, it means that other pieces move as well. Yeah. So we did get, Chris, you are kind of the CDP guru master. So we did get questions about the PvP CDP since it ended before we actually went into shelter in place, and we posted on the thread that we were postponing the write-up because of the feedback we got from Chicken PvP. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit more while I show some great images that players posted during the April Fowls event.
Oh yeah, show me the images, Julia.
So a lot of
show me the images.
So I don't know if that was an insult to Lord Neverwinter regarding his reign. And then we also saw chickens on a stick, which was funny because we had a stick mount. But overall, the feedback was fantastic. But I don't know if, Chris, you want to talk about it a little bit more?
Yeah, the chicken went down really well. Lots of people really enjoyed it. Both the funny kind of look at it and also the actual gameplay. In regard to the PvP CDP, I'll just be, I haven't read it more than once yet, and I'm still waiting to read the report from yourself and Rob, and then once that's done, I will basically work with you guys to put in a proposal for the end of it, like the other CDPs. The chicken PvP was certainly interesting. A lot of players wanted to stay in the game. I totally understand the reasoning behind that. We did talk internally quite a bit about Neverwinter heroes, the idea of having basically well-known characters from the franchise, pick like champions that have fixed and balanced classes and abilities and so on.
Oh, hello?
And then cosmetic personalization upgrade. And we'll continue to discuss that. But obviously our priority is the roadmap and everything that we've discussed in the CDP, specifically the proposals at the end, or what we're working towards for Mod 20.
I did want to call out that some people have mentioned make chicken PvP permanent, but there were also some ideas of how we can kind of grow on this, and I would like to share one of my favorite ideas from a community member was they wanted the chicken PvP inserted into the winter event only with penguins,
That's a great idea.
I pushed for it. It was in my.
You hear that, guys? That's a great idea
for the team.
Great idea. We're gonna have penguin PvP.
A bunch of waddling penguins doing the Twilight run, but especially on the chicken mount, it would just be a great combination of everything. But unfortunately, I mean, these ideas are, especially when there's already been adjustments to the schedule in the roadmap. It's hard for new ideas to get into the roadmap, but I always like to consider them and propose them to the team because even if they're funny, they're still valuable. I mean, the April Fowls was just it was a funny, fun event, but we were blown away by the positive reception for it. So, having fun is important.
Yeah, the team did a good job in it. I think I'm sure they're listening and are thinking about penguins right now in regard to that. The growth in the game since roughly beginning of January has been really impressive and great. The community has been really supportive, and I hope that we can continue to keep up the pace we have. And the ideas that come forward aren't just the ones in the CDP. I mean, I like the penguin idea. That might be something that the lady that actually did the chicken PvP is looking at and thinking, well, how would I do that now? You know, outside of just changing the skins and stuff. So yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, for some of you are familiar with Chantal Tatum, our resident chicken master.
Chantal.
She was kind of the brains behind pretty much any chicken-related thing in the game. If you see
so we got a question from Ultimate Joe. My only question today is what plans do devs have to improve overall stability and make the game run smoother? I'd love to know more about that. Like I have seen recently crash issues and so on. So if you want to send me a PM with details, we could look into that. But for me, it's working fine, which I know is a terrible thing to say. So
basically, this has just been a giant waste of time thus far, right?
Just a bit more background. So when players report that there's either lag or rubber banding or crashes, we do escalate those immediately as we get in. And you know, if you notice, some of our patch notes do include some crashes has been fixed. We do try to address those as much as possible.
But Julie, you want to talk about patch notes? Don't even get me started on that. 3 GB update on console last week, Julia. For what? 3 GB of what,
I've been
Julia?
specifically asked not to make a sheet map, so it's fun. We should make one. So basically, Ultimate Joe, frame rates. That's interesting. I need to know more about your system specs and so on in regard to that.
Or the classes you play and the powers you use, because that can also affect your frame rate.
We did some work on optimization recently, actually, so it would be good to know what your issue is more specifically.
Yep. We do have a question from Harper Steel. Curious, are you guys able to monitor what percentage of player base has completed Trial of the Mad Mage? We are. We do have an analytics team.
Yep, I can check that data. I haven't looked myself yet, but yeah, we can.
Yep. I mean, as a reminder, trials are still the most the hardest content in the game. So there's always going to be less people who completed something. But metrics are still very important.
Watching a developer stream is the hardest content in the game, guys.
That's an issue for us.
I'm about ready to chop my legs off.
Yeah, I think that
flop around on the floor.
I don't know.
This is horrible.
What the last said to you. Certainly, a lot more players are completing now. The community is really working well together to basically run folks through it. I haven't run it yet, only because I know the strategy and so on. My paladin's item level 26.5k now, and he's more than capable of doing it, but I'm going to wait for the next trials, and then I'll go back and I'll do Tower of the Mad Mage after
that. Let's see, Jane, or Jan, I apologize. When does the next trial move to open beta? So, Chris, I don't know if you want to talk about the preview dates, or if you want me to mention it, or...
Yeah, tell us the dates.
Okay.
Tell us. Give me the dates.
So we are looking at having preview the open beta sometime mid this month.
Middle of the month, as in next month, May, right?
Before we launch it.
Middle of May for open beta for the new trial.
But of course, subject to change. But yes, we're looking at mid-May of having open beta available, and that should allow players to test out different things, such as the trial.
And yes, Lady of Mad Cats, there are there's 2 versions of the trial.
Oh, there's another spoiler. So 2 versions of the trial coming.
Let's say
because they realized how big of a cluster Tower of the Mad Mage was.
Enjoy the experience. I don't think it's going to be particularly easy, but they'll get to enjoy it at a lower challenge.
There's going to be a lower level trial and a higher level trial.
Miniminx 82 preview server on Xbox? No. So preview is actually a whole separate build. It's a separate server.
There's the only valid information we've got from this stream today, chat.
Easier,
and YouTube fam, if you're watching this later, down the line on YouTube.
Require certification again from both Microsoft and Sony.
We'll go over my opinions of this after they're done here. I'm sure they're going to be finishing up here soon. I doubt this is going to be an hour long.
Is always on PC.
Yeah, and then going back to the original question about how does COVID and the world event affect us, one of the areas that it really does have a big impact on is deployment of builds. And so normally when we would fix stuff, we'd get it out sooner, but it's a bit of it's, for example, it's not just us, obviously, that's facing, in terms of the games industry, what's going on with the World event. And so other companies as well who we are partnered with also have regulations, and it's affected their work and their turnaround and so on as well. So Vidar, let me send you an email, and then you can email me back with more information about what you want, what you need. Okay? Sorry, Julia.
Chris, will you send me an email? Send me an email,
Dr. Dack
Chris.
has asked a question a few times, and it's a number of questions together, which is chat is going too fast. I'd like to know if you'll add to the game 3 the ideal path for classes after Module 16 when you remove all diversity skills. Did everyone copy each other? What exactly is the interest in, or at least a new class for? So I feel like there's 3 separate questions, which is the first one is introducing, like basically bringing back pre-M16 classes. The next one is how do players kind of create the different builds, and the third one is a new class. So I don't know if you want to talk about classes in a little, just a general overview. I know that that's not your specific area, Chris, but I mean,
sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll start with a more definitive answer about classes. We are working towards a new class. So there you go.
Oh boy.
Maybe Julia will even be shocked by that.
There you go, kids.
With everyone
We're working on a new class.
A little bit of exciting news and that kind of thing would be good. So timing around that is TBD. In terms of horizontal progression, vertical progression, boons, class progression, class abilities. If you read the rewards and progression CDP, if you just want to read the end of it, which is the proposal, it's about 30 or 40 lines. That will give you an insight into where we're going in terms of diversification of classes as we move forward towards Mod 20. So for Mod 20, it's not that I can't go into details, it's that we're currently basically designing it. There is going to be more diversity in play, and note that there's already been a balance pass of DPS, and we're currently working on a support and healing pass for
balance. Tell me more about
19.
the balance,
but,
please.
For Mod 20, we'll be looking at boons, we'll be looking at different ways for classes to play the game. And then when you couple those with horizontal progression, then we're hoping to have many ways to play and lots of kind of emergent kind of gameplay. And for the person that's going to ask next, I guess the next thing is going to be, well, what about rewards? Well, if you read the same CDP, you can see that we're refactoring rewards throughout the game for Mod 20, and we're actually working towards that now. One of the reasons why we wanted to do the pack with the 3 legendary mounts is to basically, or was to bridge the gap between some of the progression blockers in the game and so on. We have ideas for 2 more packs that kind of fix some of the issues pre-Mod 20.
You hear that? There's going to be more pay-to-win packs coming, guys.
So there'll be more news on that at some point.
More pay-to-win packs.
Also about healing changes or our updates to healing, and I can let you know is that check out preview, because you will see changes in healing for that. Just right now, because
healing changes are coming as well.
Worked on, so changes always happen, and even during preview you might see changes. But there have been some changes to healing, so just stay tuned for that when that's on preview.
So the person that asked if the Warlock could also heal as well as clerics and OPs, I'll just be honest. No. We do not intend for Warlocks to be able to go shoulder to shoulder with Paladin OPs and clerics. And being an OP, it's hurtful to hear that.
You know what's hurtful for me, Chris?
So
that a Warlock can actually heal anyway. That's hurtful to me.
I have several things to give away. So what do you think, Chris? Should I give out the big one right now, or should I start with the smaller ones?
Well, can I just show something?
Sure, of course.
Someone asked what Rage of Belle is. This is the variant edition of Descent into Avernus from Wizards of the Coast. And we're all avid D&D fans. Some of the team are absolute D&D fanatics. So what is Rage of Belle? Rage of Belle is inspired by one of the sections of this book. Get an image there. And this also relates to Mod 19. I don't know if you can see that. In that from now on, we will tell a continual story in Neverwinter with episodes in between mods and the mods lead into the episodes. Sorry, the episodes lead into the mods and vice versa. And so this episode is building towards mod 19. There's Belle. And mod 19 will then lead out into another story arc. So if you want to get kind of like a sneak peek on you know, what we're doing in terms of this year, you can go out and get the book, or
go buy the book, guys.
Maybe you've already got it.
Go buy the book. That's probably a $30 book, by the way. Maybe even more. I have no idea. It's Wizards of the Coast. It's probably a $50 book.
I caught a sneak peek at the key art for Age of Belle. It looks amazing.
You wonder what those are? And people have been talking about her already, and
someone in my chat, Sir Monty, says it's $49, $49.95, $50 book.
It's going to be your guide to modern
$50 book. You guys want secret, super secretive information? Just go buy the book from Wizards of the Coast. $50. I
don't know how well you can see that, but I certainly recommend getting the book and getting into it, because I think after episode 1, or at least I hope so, the community.
Hey, Mr. Whiteside, how about you buy a T-shirt?
You know, story and narrative.
How about you buy a Grungland T-shirt?
Who the major characters going to be, and how we're going to intersect the storyline and the experience. And so, yeah, let's, if you can, get the book and let's theory craft. And some of the ideas may well end up going into the game for sure.
Yeah, I'm seeing...
Right, Julia, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. I did see comments about the video being pixelated from time to time, and I agree. It does get pixelated on my end. So I don't know if it's because I'm basically mimicking my Discord screen, so it could be my connection. It does seem to happen when I switch to another screen. So I will try to minimize that, but this is a learning experience, so feedback on the streaming as well is very appreciated. But yeah, it looks like it happens.
So when you get back, and I'll basically show the pictures again once you haven't switched, because I don't think that we can send the photographs. I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, so it looks like it's clear now. It looks like it, yeah. As long as I stay on this monitor, it's clear. Every now and then, nope. Now it went pixelated again. It's weird. All right.
It's not weird. It's because it's like, Mr. Whiteside's camera is a potato, and probably something from 1999. Your video quality is not good, bud. Gotta work on that. Gotta work on that.
And you can see the normal edition online. They both cost the same. It's just, I believe that this is correct, that retailers, physical retailers...
Okay, well, we're probably going to wrap this up because I want to give my own opinion of all this stuff. They're most likely going to be doing giveaways here. It is uncanny how every
time you lift up the book, the screen gets pixelated.
Like, this is just wasted airtime at this point.
Can you see it now?
I think we got most of the information that they're giving us today, and I want to go over it and give my opinion on it, and then we're going to wrap up this video. So if you're watching it on YouTube down the road...
Okay, can you see that?
It's for some reason, I mean, it's pixelated, but what we can
do is... Yeah, it's pixelated. It's the bitrate. Your bitrate is not good. Your bitrate is not properly calibrated because you don't know what you're doing because you use XSplit and you've never used OBS before, which
says
I can't even fathom it.
Apparently, you're too animated, Chris.
What year is it, chat? What year is it, guys? It's 2020, and this company doesn't even use OBS when they stream. They're being using XSplit.
All right, I think I'm going to go and do some giveaways. I'm going to leave the big one for closer to the end. Just, you know.
We're going to let this run. I want to see what the big one is, because I'm going to give her a big one. It's in my pants.
A Rainbow Starry Panther.
Rainbow Starry Panther.
And a miniature giant hamster pack.
Miniature giant hamster pack. Typical giveaway items. What's the big one? Is it a triple mount pack?
The mount and the hamster is a little item that gives you a little buff.
What's the big giveaway? Is it a triple mount pack? Because I'm going to put in it if it's a triple mount pack.
Giveaways. Great giveaway. All right.
For the person that said that my closet doors are making you go crazy, I know. I'm sorry. I'll show you what's behind there in a minute. I will move them.
If there's a literal skeleton, and when you open a closet door, I will.
Plenty of skeletons in the closet. I'm sorry that you can't see the images. That's also as well. Just so you can't see that either. Is that pixelated? Yeah.
It is. It's basically too much motion makes pixelation.
I give up. I give up.
All right, so for our first giveaway, we're going to enter the word roadmap. So is Moobot telling people to do giveaway? No, it's you have to enter the keyword roadmap in chat. And this is for a chance to win a Rainbow Starry Panther and a miniature giant hamster.
Rainbow Starry Panther, guys, the same community mount that we've had for 7 years. Right. Oh!
It is.
There's the special guest. She doesn't want to fly on me at the moment. I don't know why. She's being naughty.
Wait, is that a bird? Does he have a legitimate bird as a pet?
It is. And then that's what's in the closet. Can't take it anymore, can I?
Oh my god, the pixelation. What year is it?
Board games.
What year is it?
Lego ship that I'm never ever going to finish building. Millennium Falcon. And lots of D&D books. Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to draw a winner. What?
Oh, my head. My head.
What are you doing?
Oh, this is painful.
What is...
So painful.
So apparently Moobot is the one who doesn't want
YouTube,
to
save me. Twitch chat, save me. Give me your power, please.
Oh, there we go. Apparently Moobot. So I'm going to give you a few more seconds for people. If you already entered, please enter again with the word roadmap, because Moobot was...
And don't forget to keep asking questions. It's a good conversation, so
I do know
questions about it.
A question that came up, especially when we released the April Fowls event, was since it was a whole brand new event, players wanted to know what we were looking into updating other events, existing events. I know that our roadmap did include some event updates, so
yeah, dungeons.
Just wondering if that. I know you said nothing was cut from the roadmap, but like, has it been maybe scaled down a little bit? Not scaling as in like scaling for the game, but if we
Julia, you're so cute.
Do go ahead.
I love when you laugh. You're adorable.
Events, has it become a little smaller in terms of updates, or do we still have the original plan in mind for how we want to update the game?
So two ideas here, two answers.
My head hurts.
In regard to Tales of Old, we had obviously discussed it with the community, but also discussed internally that there would be a little bit of backlash in regard to the fact that we weren't going to be able to polish it to the level that we really wanted it to be, and we were happy to basically eat that because we felt that it would be better to release it. So there are updates that we're going to put out that are going to be similar to that, maybe another one this year while the World event is going on. We did actually do some bug fixing on Tales, but in terms of overall quality, it doesn't meet our current bar. In regard to updating dungeons and so on and events, that is part of our plan that we discussed in, I think, CDP1 of rotating content out of the game and then rotating it back in. So that the world evolves, and at the same time we're basically getting rid of development debt, less bugs, more polish. So no, the world event hasn't impacted any of that at all, outside of, which has got nothing to do with that, outside of feedback that we get from episode 1, and where's the storyline going, where's the world going, and so on. That could, for example, change certain things. Yeah.
Oh, boys.
I think one example of content that gets rotated in and out, some of you have noticed that this year doesn't seem to be in the calendar the Day of the Dungeon Master, which was something we used to do every year. Yes, that one has been pulled, so it won't be showing up this year. And I know that does include, one of
no portobellos at all.
It's a rare mount. It's a legendary personal tank beholder. So one of the things we did this year was, because players won't have a chance to get it in the in-game event, we've been giving out some codes to some of our content creators. So to shout out to them, because not just the existing ones, but also new ones who come in.
Yeah, shout out to the content creators, unless your name's Garland.
We've given them some codes for this legendary personal tank beholder,
aka Rainer. Rainer has beholder tank codes. Guys, go over to Rainer's channel. Make sure you enter his giveaway.
The in-game event wasn't happening. But I'm going to try. Oh, go ahead.
Content creator.
In regard to the person was asking, or multiple people asking about rewards, I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but if you go to the rewards and progression CDP, you can see what we're doing in terms of they're being refactored, and specifically you know, our kind of like X for that, or our goal is one of the things that was written in the CDP, which is to make your experience feel worth it. You know, it doesn't matter how long it takes or that kind of thing. As long as what you get at the end is really worth it, then that's great. And so we're basically, as we're also refactoring scaling, we'll also basically be ensuring that rewards are more exciting and more kind of like respectful of the time put in. In regard to David DM, ideas are interesting in terms of what we should do for our next kind of like Tales of Old introduction into the game. So we'll keep thinking about that. Keep sending your ideas. In regard to yes, events. So we don't intend on building any new events until we've basically updated our existing ones so they meet our quality bars. So I think you can see that we're starting to deliver a little in our intent. I mean, it depends how close you follow the game. And you'll see that more as we get to mod 20. Once we're at mod 20, we're very much in a situation where we can pioneer and we can really start being disruptive in the genre that we're currently in. So looking forward to that. But you know, there's a common theme with all these questions in terms of refactoring and evolving, all these kind of things. So yeah, rewards is a big part of that too.
I'm going to draw a winner real quick before we continue, just so that people can stop typing in roadmap. All right, so our first winner for the pack that includes the Rainbow Starry Panther mount and the miniature giant space hamster is Blythe Concordia. Concordia! I'm going to draw a couple more winners, and then I'll give instructions on how you can claim your prize.
Julia, can you be my prize?
Ophi or 05.
I would like Julia to be my prize, please.
Congratulations. And the last one is Asmodina 1. So congratulations, Asmodina 1, Ophi, and Blythe Concordia. To claim your rewards, please email community@crypticstudios.com to let me know what platform you play on. I have codes for all three platforms.
I play on the Big Dick platform.
So again, community@crypticstudios.com. Email me with
Come on, what's this big one? I bet you any money it's going to be a triple mount pack, guys. You ready? You ready for it? Let's see what this big giveaway is.
So we will do another giveaway towards the end of the stream.
Oh, we're not done yet?
How
long has this been going on?
For interrupting. I don't know if you wanted to.
Is it? Are they going to do an hour? I didn't think this was going to be an hour straight.
Dan and Galactic Underwear, and also Rainer. I'm not sure if Rainer's here, but this one's for you, Rainer. So I haven't had a chance to speak to Stephen yet. Sorry, with everything going on to the API. I promise I'll do it this week. In regard to the community, the content creator program, where Julian and I are currently working on that.
Oh, the content creator program, boys.
Working out how preview works moving forward and other areas. So hopefully that answers your questions in those regards.
It's one of those things where we start with like separate initiatives. So the early access was a separate initiative from the content creator program, and which was content creator program was separate from the vast group of content creators out there. But we also know that these things tend to, after a while, kind of mesh together. So now, my job is to find a way to make all of these separate programs work. Like basically,
I could have wrote a book to make a content creator. I could have wrote a book in a week.
While also keeping the spirit.
This lady, it's taken her 4 years. 4 years. I could have did this in a week.
To get some stuff done really well. Other stuff is definitely a work in progress. But the questions are always appreciated because it lets us know where we have to do a little bit more work. But yes.
Vida.
Go ahead.
Good question. So, sorry, Julie, for trying to get to the questions before we run out of time. So, Vida, in regard to scaling, we actually have in the office now, I believe, I don't know if No Worries is watching, the beginnings of a scaling rework, or maybe more than we're going to basically be looking at, discussing this week. We're going to roll it out to the players before it goes live, so you can give us all of the feedback. The overall goal, yes, is for scaling to actually work properly in terms of making things challenging, in terms of things being really, you know, the relationship between the player and player input versus, you know, the PvE environment and so on, and getting that good. And then on top of that, at a later date, we'll match that. So
I guess they're going to go for an hour, guys. I'm sorry. So if you're watching this on YouTube, enjoy.
On it, and then basically once the community starts,
they're 40 minutes in right now. I guess they're doing a whole hour.
Kevin asks, hey, can you make it so that everything on the Zen market is available on the preview server? I have brought this up. If we can at least expand. It's right now the first answer I got.
Dude, I've been bitching about the preview server for years. Everything should be available on the preview server for legitimate testing.
We can make, especially
there should just be random vendors and Protector's Enclave that have everything you need. Oh, did they crash again? Did I crash? What's happening?
Wait for a dev to show up on preview and give it to you. Find ways to make them available on preview. But we are looking at refining players' experience on preview as well.
Like, everything on preview should be available, period. It's a test server.
Yes, guys, we could take this offline, but yeah, just we're revamping it. I have an email inbox right now from Julia. There are, you know, it's not just a case of everyone can be a content creator. We want to nurture that group. We need to do better in that area, and that's my fault in terms of how we have we've focused a lot on YouTube and Twitch now and so on. So a little bit of patience, but not everyone's going to get the opportunity to do it. But we are refactoring how that system works, and then also how it relates to preview and so on. Like, there's a lot of interest in the game now from massively OP, from traditional media sites and so on, and there's been lots of asks for, you know, them to get access to the preview servers before other people, and for them to get keys and gifts, and I imagine you can understand what my response to that would be. Like, this is a community game driven by the community and the team. So it's something that we're looking at holistically. And quite frankly, you know, that mail's been in my email for a while, and there's a lot going on. It's not just work, it's also family, you know. So bear with us on that.
I also wanted to kind of call out that one of the reasons we started the actual official content creator program is, you know, we had been working with Wizards of the Coast on something more streamlined, more formalized, because when we promote somebody, you know, we, in a sense, I mean, even though we might not agree with everything they say, we are still held responsible for who we promote. So that's why we had to, you know, there was a legal requirement.
AKA why they will never promote any of my content.
Guidelines or
GG boys, buy a t-shirt.
That, I mean, if those
support your boy,
that actually
because the company sure
the program start for a while as we got legal to sign off on that. So yes, we understand there's a lot of different content creators out there. But the official content creator program is people who've agreed to kind of, yes, they're going to follow that code of conduct. It's a more formalized setting, but that does not mean that there's not a ton of other content creators. And someone mentioned Foundry authors were content creators, and I totally agree. So they were some of the original content creators. They came up with great stories. The ones I got to play before the Foundry had to be shut down, they were fun, they were great. So this is not to minimize the work they've done at all. Definitely a big shout out to them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I know I don't want this to be all about you guys. Sorry. Julia and I are discussing, have a list of names, so please don't make assumptions. I don't mean that in a rude way. It's hard for folks not to, especially given the conditions that we're under at the moment. We'll do a better job. We'll keep you, we'll keep everyone abreast. I talk to you guys on Discord nearly every day, and I really appreciate everything.
You don't talk to me every day. You talk to Unforgiven every day, though.
In regards
That's your boy, right? Unforgiven's your boy.
About the gap between Parrot and OP. We are currently doing a pass on healers and support in the game. So, okay, so Jan, yeah, this conversation seems to be basically kind of going into the content creator conversation. So let's I'm going to stick to questions about the game at the moment.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do a separate content creator update, like basically a community update stream where we talk about the different community initiatives. I can talk about and how they all come.
That would be great.
So yeah, definitely doing a separate stream. I did want to.
It's okay. You don't have to apologize at all. Hit me up on Discord as well. Like I said, the game is growing a lot. We're getting a lot of interest from many different angles. Wizards as well. even, you know, especially during what's going on, wanting to support us more and more. So just lots of things to balance at the moment, you know, not just the health of the team and the health of the community, but also, you know, the increased interest in the game, and I'll do a better job.
We did have a couple questions, roadmap related, which is someone asked when Rage of Belle was meant to start. So we are looking, I think we mentioned earlier, mid-May for it to go live. Mid-May to go live, like on actual live server, and on preview sometime this week, fingers crossed. The other question we got was strongholds. There have been several questions about strongholds. I know we mentioned a few streams ago that prior to like us kind of reworking the roadmap for Neverwinter and coming up like with the concept of episodes and stuff like that, we had looked at having an upcoming module be strongholds related, strongholds focused, but the plans kind of changed. So I don't personally have any information. I don't know if Chris has any more information about strongholds, but right now this year it's not on the roadmap for this year just because of how we had to rework our content release.
So we'll run CDP. Well, it's going to be a CDP that we'll run a CDP about Mod 20 because the CDP 1 to 3 are all about between now and Mod 20. Then we need to run one for Mod 21, and that will become the kind of core foundation for what that mod is outside of theme. So, you know, we'll have that conversation. Folks can throw in what they would like to see and so on, and we'll go from there, and I'll explain the reason why I like it here.
Yeah, so kind of speaking of CDP, we did have the CDP, and one of the things was to have like a variety of topics that players could let us know where they would like to prioritize. So we have been working internally on a list of topics to give to the community to, you know, what would you like us to prioritize in terms of having our next CDP on. But unfortunately, the shelter in place kind of hit right when we were taking us a short little break and then trying to move on to the next phase. So it you know, it was one of those things that hasn't been done yet just because of all the changes, but it is still on our plans to do so, and we have been internally discussing it. So just stay tuned for more CDP info.
For the person that asked, does the Parrot talk? Yes, she does, but she's also very moody, and she's in a mood this week, so she's currently tearing away at the blinds. I
feel like the subtext of that question is, you know, have you told your parrot all the secrets, spoilers for the game, so they can get the parrot to say it?
No, she just acts like a baby. Shouts, "Daddy!" She's awesome, but she's also the worst of birds.
Oh, hi, Cryptic Lasso. Okay. That is our producer, Michael Lynch. Thanks for stopping by the stream.
Okay. There are more giveaways, right?
Yes. I mean, it's 10 minutes to the end, so let's do the big one now.
Yeah, let's do the big one. What's the big one?
The big one is I'm going to be giving away the Apprentice Expedition Pack, which, for those of you who recall, Fallen Apprentice, which has a variety of things. It has the Trobrand Companion, but it also has the Butterfly Mount in it. So I know that that's a big deal for people.
How do I enter?
So,
I'm entering.
We're going to be giving...
What's the code?
Oh, did you want to say something, Chris? Or?
Yeah, no, what's the
code?
I was laughing at like Kobe was funny there.
Give me the code.
So, in regard to console, this question gets asked a lot. It was our intent this year to basically get PC parity in terms of timing and releases closer. We're still working towards that. It could be that with Mod 21, if the community really wants it, we can work to
another giveaway. There's still no response.
It's quite Nova. Like under the hood.
Buddy, it's okay.
So, you know, keep talking about it, and we'll see what's best in terms of overall priority. Questions about, you know, will we be on the next gen consoles?
600 viewers, by the way.
Wait and see.
600 viewers, by the way.
Cross-platform, we don't have any intention to do that currently.
No cross-platform. Shut down right then and there. He just said cross-platform. Nope.
When I get some time. Thanks.
So Dun 1492, someone sailed the ocean blue, asks, is Rage of Belle mod 19? So it's kind of interesting because it is not mod 19, and
face is mod 19. Give me the keyword.
We talk about more like how content is now going to work in the game. Kind of recap a little bit of that.
Okay, so we've got thanks to we've got modules which are kind of like expansions, and they they're kind of, if you think of them like a movie, they're kind of like that, and they'll be moving forward. They're going to be very systems and mechanics focused. There is going to be experiential content in there, but it's more systems and mechanics focused. And then for episodes, they're kind of more like TV. So if you think of like the X-Files and stuff, we're going to have X number of episodes between each module.
Why is everyone spamming sheep in the chat?
The team will cringe at this, but it'd be really nice to get to the point where we can do it on a monthly basis. We'll see, but that's years away. And they basically tell they're very horizontal progression focused, they're very experience focused, narrative, heroes, intersecting story arcs, that kind of thing. And they lead into the next episode, and next episode, and next episode. And then you basically, the final episode leads into a mod, and then that mod sets up, for example, a new theme, along with some very core systems and mechanics. And then that leads into the next episode, which is centered
I think we got maybe 3 important things that we need to talk about before I wrap up this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, obviously we're live streaming this right now over on Twitch.
So that's the
an hour-long stream, folks, for maybe
the strategy for
4
the game
pieces of genuine information.
So what is episode 1? So episode
typical
1
Cryptic
is kind of like the introduction of Zariel, the foreshadowing of Zariel. Like
Manic Gypsy's like, can you please stop spamming sheep? Because she'll just start banning
Mod
everyone.
19. I think if we were to go into the future, we would probably have had 3 or 4 episodes before Mod 19, if that makes sense. That lead into it, and then a new season starts once you basically do episode 1 of the following season. Hopefully that answers the question.
So I think players are getting impatient for the giveaway because they've been spamming made-up words. So if you
clearly everyone wants a sheep and a flying pig. Oh, Salvo, what a cool question! Yes, I will answer that question, and the team would love that question.
do you mind if I start the giveaway real quick so that
go ahead,
so people can enter?
But I might miss the question.
Okay.
So the answer is yes, Thalo. Basically, when you zone into the
Chris really likes
adventure
to
zone
talk.
from Mod
Chris is a
it will
talker.
change its
He'll talk for
it
hours.
looks different. That's all part of what we're doing. We create an evolving world that isn't
Chris
just
loves to talk, man.
spiel. Like the geography actually changes. The NPCs change attitude. There's like this political narrative storyline. The experiences change and so on. So the world feels like living and evolving. Okay, sorry. Have you started?
There we go. Hold on.
What's the special word?
The special word is rage. R-A-G-E. So
Rage.
for a chance to win the Fallen Apprentice Expedition
Rage.
Pack, type in the word rage.
Rage.
It is in no way related, to seeing the word sheep. My feelings
Rage.
of seeing the word sheep being spammed on the.
Well, I guess that when we release the sheep, it would be rage sheep, like some kind of buff on haste and frenzy, with higher critical damage.
I'm gonna check something real quick. Excuse me. Looks like a lot of our questions. Oh, actually, Jan had a question before I forget about making it so players on console could copy their characters onto the preview server. Honestly, I don't personally know the technical steps for that involved. I am more than happy to explore it and ask about if that could actually happen or not. So I'll definitely ask, but I don't understand.
Makiddo, I see you. I saw my face, Makiddo. I saw my face, Makiddo. Shout out to Makiddo,
It's a
boys.
good question. Like, Jen obviously knows that would kind of open the door potentially to the ability to switch platforms as well. Yeah, we should definitely just at least ask the question and have a look at what tech we've got there.
Alright, so it looks like entries have slowed down a bit, so I'm going to draw. You only get one winner for this one, so.
Oh, only one.
Good luck on this
700
one.
people in the chat, but only one winner.
On the Apprentice Expedition Pack. It is Cool Gore 1984. Congratulations, Cool Gore 1984. Sorry if you can hear my daughter in the background. Please email community@crypticstudios.com to let me know what platform you play on, and I will get you a code for your platform of choice.
I'm just going to spam
Again,
my face and see if Manic Gypsy bans me.
@crypticstudios.com for the Fallen Apprentice Expedition Pack.
I'm sorry, Speedy. I keep missing your message, and I really want to answer it. Miss Andre, I know you've been asking a lot of questions about PvP. I'm going to spend some time this week going through the PvP, and we'll proposal together, and you'll be able to see the information there.
I can't think you watch your mouth.
So you can see the response and go from there. Okay. Is there anything? Blah, blah. How do you pause it?
So usually you have to kind of scroll up to pause the chat, and that'll pause it.
Yeah. No, that's not what. Give up, Speed. We'll have to talk in game.
If you remember the name, we can look it up later.
If you remember the name, the community manager doesn't even know who Speedache is. Speedache is a streamer. He's right here. Right here. Speedache. Plays a warlock. He's a fucking streamer. And the community manager doesn't even know who that is.
CDP on
Holy shit.
If not, give it a read and then we can chat. Or the answer is there's going to be more diversity in class through horizontal progression being reworked that we're working towards for mod 20 is the answer to your question. But is it going to be like it was pre-mod 16? No, we're not reverting back.
So a lot of the questions now are definitely more systems focused. So I promise you I will follow up on this afterwards, talk to the systems team and ask.
He's a rogue. He used to play a warlock. He used to follow my build. Speedache used to be a warlock, and then he re-rolled into a rogue.
Do a stream because AMA...
He plays on PS4.
The last AMA I thought was reasonably good, but so much of it is in the delivery.
He originally played a warlock.
So I would recommend doing the stream.
Yep, agreed. It's just a matter of seeing if people have the setup at home. I mean, most everybody should have a camera on the computer. They're most built in, but definitely want to follow up on that. I would love to do a stream. I know that Chantal has offered to do streams.
Oh, Chantal.
Part of the systems team.
Oh, Chantal.
I don't know if Chris, if there's anything else you wanted to touch upon, or
all right, end this shit.
We think we're good to wrap it up.
End it. Wrap it up. Get out of here.
A way to summarize.
Go host Greyhaster. Get it over with. Let's go.
Yes, definitely things have been pushed back a few weeks, which means if one thing like Rage of Belle gets pushed back, the rest is also going to get pushed back. But there have been no changes to the actual content of the roadmap that we introduced earlier this year. Would that be an accurate summary of kind of the spirit of things?
3 to 4 weeks, yeah. By the number of questions, I think that we should do this again in 2 weeks, Julia, if that's all right, and then have next week have a systems discussion or whatever, maybe systems and production or something. I don't know. I wanted to, the kind of last thing I kind of want to say is just thank you so much for all of your support during this time. It's amazing to see just how fast the game is growing, and it just is mind-boggling in terms of our potential forward. A year from now, or even 2 years from now, where we're going to be with the game. I really appreciate it. So does the team. We are going to continue to do our best to support everyone during this time with content and so on. Thank you so much. Remember, it sounds cheesy, but we're building worlds.
Building worlds, folks.
Together, and that's our intent.
Building worlds.
Stay focused on that, and we'll keep making the game better and better. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Stay tuned for more info on streams.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. And they're gone. All right, so if you're watching this on YouTube, today is April 27th. This was the developer stream, the roadmap update. It was an hour-long stream. If you make it to the end of the video, congratulations. I applaud you. I actually have the roadmap still here. I want to discuss a few things before I end this video on YouTube. So basically, we got a few tad bits of information in an hour-long stream. They've confirmed everything is going to be pushed back. Everything is going to be pushed back right now, which was anticipated, right? That was anticipated. We have a global pandemic, so it is what it is. Everything's going to be pushed back. They hope to have some of the first episode, which is Raid of Belle, on preview, hopefully this week. Now, Raid of Belle was already supposed to be live. It's already supposed to be out live. But it was pushed back. They have already stated that it's going to be mid-May. So next month, May, mid-May, we can see the first episode of Mod 19, most likely. Second on the list, at the very beginning of the stream, Chris kind of leaked and spoiled about progression gear again. Now, that means to me, it's going to be the whole Black Ice system again, or the whole Relic system again with Vaughn and Blood, except now there's going to be a new mechanic. They're looking to change the progression of gear. So now we have to see what is the longevity of this new gear going to be. Are they finally going to take everyone's advice and say, stop giving us gear upgrades every single module, let's just build on the gear that we have to make it better and better and better as we get on, you know? They had the Exalted system for Schultz, right? We had to exalt our primal gear. Like, we have all this stuff that's already coded into the game. How are they actually going to build on that philosophy and that mechanic? Thirdly, they said that they are going to be working on healing. Again, healing is getting a change. It's going to be on preview eventually. And then they also mentioned a bunch of bullshit with the content creator program. And then they also mentioned, what was the last thing they mentioned? I don't know. I couldn't keep up. It was literally an hour-long stream for 4 pieces of information that I don't even remember. The things that I took from this is that everything progression-wise, as far as the roadmap, is being pushed back. They are looking at progressional gear again. That's a thing. Healing is getting a change. We're going to see some early iterations of Rage of Belle on the preview servers. Oh, that's right. That was the last thing. They did mention that they are actively working on a new class. So that was an hour-long stream for maybe 4 pieces, maybe 5 pieces of overall information. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. Leave me a hashtag #GarIsTheBest in the comments below if you made it through this whole long ass video. I'll see you guys real soon. That's all I got for you.